3 минутами. Настоятельно прошу их это делать. Я не хочу применять прерогативу председательства и прервать вас. Сейчас я представляю слово представителю Индонезии.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to thank Russia for convening this meeting and the briefers for their valuable insights. Indonesia welcomes the recent ceasefire agreement in Gaza as a ray of hope after unimaginable loss. Yet, this is only a first step of a long road ahead. And the compass is clear: the realization of the two-state solution and the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people. Mr. President, tens of thousands of Palestinians are streaming back into northern Gaza, but they return to an unrecognizable land. 92% of residential buildings in Gaza have been destroyed, 125 hospitals and clinics are now in ruin, and over 86% of cropland was damaged. The task of this council is therefore a profound one: ensuring that the ceasefire is fully observed, allowing the rebuilding of Gaza and restoring the dignity of all civilians; that all parties fully implement the peace agreement with the ultimate objective of lasting peace in Palestine based on the two-state solution. Against this backdrop, allow me to highlight 3 points. First, permanent ceasefire must be maintained as a prerequisite for sustained recovery. It must be respected to ensure unhindered, at-scale, and safe flow of humanitarian assistance throughout Gaza. The UN-led humanitarian efforts must be protected without obstacles. The role of UNRWA remains indispensable. Its mandate and funding must be supported, as its work sustains millions of lives every day. In this vein, Indonesia welcomes the ICJ advisory opinion released just yesterday on Israel's obligations regarding the presence of the UN and other entities in the OPT. Second, genuine peace must be fostered. The Security Council, as the cornerstone of multilateralism for the maintenance of international peace and security, must contribute and play its role. This council must also work to secure that peace will end the occupation and fulfill the Palestinian rights to self-determination. Indonesia stands ready to contribute 20,000 personnel on the ground to credible peace monitoring missions once it is decided by the Council. We believe that peace must be protected by presence, not just promises. This will be our contribution to provide necessary security space for comprehensive peace plan negotiation. We urge the Security Council to lead and work toward this endeavor. Third, the last point, the future of Palestine belongs to the Palestinian. We must invest in Palestine's readiness to govern its future state and to lead its own destiny. For our part, Indonesia has continuously supported the Palestinian people. The Security Council must support this by ensuring that the question of Palestine remains high on its agenda towards the realization of two-state solution based on UN resolutions and internationally agreed parameters. Mr. President, as we celebrate the UN 80th anniversary, the question of Palestine remains the definitive test of whether this organization can fulfill its promise to the Palestinian. It is time for us to bring peace to the Palestinians. I thank you, Mr. President.
Я благодарю представителя Индонезии за ее выступление и сейчас предоставляю слово представителю Филиппин.
Mr. President, the Philippines welcomes the agreement to secure a ceasefire deal and hostage release in Gaza based on the 20-point peace plan put forward by President Trump. We also commend the diplomatic efforts of the United States, Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey in brokering this landmark deal through intensive diplomacy. We hope that the agreement will be implemented completely and expeditiously to stop the fighting in Gaza, scale up the delivery of sustained humanitarian relief, and advance recovery and reconstruction efforts in Gaza. This is long overdue. The people of Gaza desperately need free and unimpeded access to life-saving humanitarian aid, to food, water, and medicine. In this regard, we join the Secretary General's call for all stakeholders to seize this momentous opportunity to establish a credible political path forward towards ending the occupation, recognizing the right to self-determination of the Palestinian people, leading to a two-state solution to enable Israelis and Palestinians to live in peace and security. The adoption of the New York Declaration on the peaceful settlement of the question of Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution should complement international efforts towards achieving a just and lasting peace in the Middle East. The Philippines joins member states in thanking France and Saudi Arabia for their commendable leadership in organizing the international conference that produced the New York Declaration. Mr. President, we recognize that the resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is key to the region's peace and stability. In this regard, the Philippines reiterates its support for international and regional diplomatic efforts to achieve a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in the Middle East. The Philippines also reiterates its consistent support for the two-state solution as the most viable and long-term solution to the Palestine-Israeli conflict. Lasting peace can only be achieved when Palestinians and Israelis can live side by side in their own sovereign, independent states, in dignity, harmony, and prosperity, where their rights, aspirations, and security are fully respected and upheld. Dialogue and negotiations based on trust and mutual understanding between Palestine and Israel are vital. We therefore support steps that would expand the space for meaningful dialogues and negotiations and resolve the conflict by peaceful means and in accordance with international law. Beyond Gaza, the wider Middle East continues to grapple with overlapping crises that threaten regional stability, from tensions in the Gulf to the humanitarian situation in Yemen. The Philippines calls on all parties to exercise restraint and engage in constructive dialogue to prevent further escalation. We continue to support diplomatic efforts that promote de-escalation, regional cooperation, and respect for international law. As a trusted partner, innovative pathfinder, and committed peacemaker, the Philippines is ready to play an active role in supporting all efforts among concerned parties and the United Nations to end conflicts and maintain international peace and security. Thank you, Mr. President.
Я благодарю представителя Филиппин за его выступление. Сейчас предоставляю слово представителю Иордании.
شكرا سيد الرئيس، وأود بداية أن أهنئكم على تولي مهامكم برئاسة هذا المجلس لهذا الشهر. السيد الرئيس، تنعقد هذه الجلسة الهامة في مرحلة مفصلية تشهدها الأوضاع في الأراضي الفلسطينية المحتلة، وذلك في أعقاب التوصل للاتفاق الذي يقضي بإنهاء الحرب الإسرائيلية الوحشية التي استمرت لأكثر من عامين على غزة، والتي قتلت خلالها إسرائيل ما يزيد عن 68,000 فلسطيني ودمرت كل